Hello everyone. So I know it's been a while since I did a video, but I want to show you something I've been doing. This is not a complete project yet, but I have started doing my, excuse the squeaky door, but first of all, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. I love these doors and the glass panels. This is my hangout room, and I didn't know how I was going to have it look. I'm going to be talking about how I inherited some higher percentages of ancestry than my parents, but I want to show you my new hangout room. Like I said, it's not completely done yet because I am going to be painting the walls. The previous people who lived in this house, I think they did some touch-up paint, and we just never got around to redoing it. But anyway, I'm gonna be painting these walls gray, but I couldn't wait until I did that. I was gonna hire someone to do it, but you know what, then I decided I'm gonna get my older son and we're actually going to take care of that ourselves. All right, so let me show you piece by piece. I got this rug from Amazon. I don't remember how much it was. It's not very expensive, but I think it works really well in this room. I didn't even know what color theme I was going to go with, and then everything just started coming together. I like to buy on the budget when I can. I don't like to get, you know, overly expensive stuff. I do like good quality. However, I think you can always find deals. So there is one oversized chair in here. I actually took an oversized chair that we already had and I covered it with a chair cover. This isn't even actually a chair cover. Because the chair is so large, I actually covered it with a couch cover. Maybe a love seat cover. Well, I should have gotten the love seat cover, but I ended up getting the couch cover, so I had to tuck away a lot of extra material. I did the same thing for the ottoman here. I covered it with an ottoman cover. It's actually brown under there. Anyway, this isn't a product review. I just wanted to show you real quick how my hangout room is looking. The curtains actually look a little different than what I thought they would, but I'm still enjoying them. I like this little stand here with my decorations. My husband put this TV stand together and it has a fireplace insert, and I am loving that. It is August here in Georgia right now. I do not have the heat coming out of that fireplace. It's just for decoration. I like that I'm able to do that as well. Here is my workstation over here where I can come over and get some work done. And I love this chair. I ended up getting at Ross. I have a little, whatever you call that thing. I can't even think of what it's called right now. But anyway, on this empty wall here, I'm going to be hanging up some wall pictures. I have received them today, but I need to get some frames. Just wanted to show you all what I've been doing before I get right into my video. All right, so real quick, this room is not done. It is going to be my music room because I have purchased this little piano for the girls. One day I'm going to get a real grand piano, but that's not in our budget right now. And I got this beautiful green couch. This room, like I said, is not done, but I will show you when I'm done with it. So no one comes in this room but me. This is where I come to think and be creative and chill and relax. My daughter got this Life with Dr. Trish banner here for me a while ago, and it fits perfectly in here. I got my throw blanket here. Also, my mother, I believe she got this for me for Christmas because I was complaining about my feet hurting all the time. So I come in here and I turn this on, get a little foot massage. I got my good smelling wax candle scents here. I like this clock I got from Target. This stand I probably got from Ross. I love this lamp. I don't even remember where I got that from. But anyway, that's one of the things I've been up to. Let's get into the video about the DNA. All right, so I really hope you enjoyed the tour of my new hangout room. I need to find a name for it. The kids think I'm really lame for trying to name my rooms. But hey, you know what? They don't run my life. All right, so I want to mention some things. I'm still on an ancestry journey. We are still searching and discovering, and I really enjoy that. But as far as this channel, I really want to start doing a more variety type of show. And I know sometimes people recommend that you stick to one topic on YouTube. But I don't know. I like a lot of variety shows. I mean, all the talk shows you watch, those are variety shows. And they talk about a variety of things. I think we, as people, we have a lot of different interests. So I hope you stick around and stay tuned for all the various topics I'm going to be bringing to you. All right, so I received this notification from Ancestry that once again, my Ancestry results had been updated. Well, actually, let me go to it. Anyway, it said, update, one of your ethnicity regions changed to 19%. And like I said, if you're familiar with Ancestry, you know that they do this periodically, a few times per year, it seems. Of course, for me, and probably a lot of you too, if you research on Ancestry, once you're in there, you start digging into all kinds of things. Anyway, then I got down to where it says, see which ethnicities you inherited from each parent. I had looked at this feature before, but I decided to click on learn more to see if anything had been updated. After it told me that some of my percentages had been updated, I went down to ethnicity inheritance and it said parent 1, parent 2. I click on view breakdown, right? It doesn't tell me what percentage of Nigerian ancestry my mother had. It only tells me that I inherited 19% Nigerian ancestry from my mother, 1% from my father, which obviously totals to 20% for me. My mother only took the 23andMe ancestry test, so they must just be subtracting the percentage of Nigerian ancestry I have, and they're comparing that to what my father has, and then they're probably doing some type of division or, percentage of his DNA, and then subtracting that from mine, and then deciding that the remaining of that is my mother's. When it does my breakdown, it's saying that I only inherited 1% Nigerian ancestry from my father and the other 19% from my mother. So they must be looking at something else that's just not on this screen. So anyway, back to my detailed comparison. Let's read what it says. Same data, more detail. This chart shows the percentages of each ethnicity you inherited from your parents. Added together, the percents from each parent for a region equals your percent for that region. All right, so Nigerian, somehow it's telling me that I inherited 19% Nigerian ancestry from my mother, 1% from my father, and it's telling me I have 20%. For Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu people, it's saying 9% from my mother, 10% from my father, and then 19% for me. This is only showing that I inherited this amount from each parent. Scotland, both of my parents have Scottish ancestry. It's showing I inherited 5% from my mother, 13% from my father, and so that would be 18% for me. Then you'll see down here Mali, 3% and 9%, Ivory Coast and Ghana, 3% and 6%, and then we go on and on. So even though it's showing that I have 5% Irish ancestry, what I discovered, and I'll show this actually, is my paternal haplogroup. Obviously, I couldn't test me because I don't have a Y DNA. I don't have Y DNA, so I could not test myself to see what my paternal haplogroup is, but I did use my dad's ancestry results, and I ran it through some type of database, and it came back with his haplogroup. And then my brother, my full brother, we have the same mother and father, he actually took the 23andMe test, and it also gave him a haplogroup. So I'll put it up on the screen. I'm going to do a separate video that talks about his results in more detail. But anyway, what it comes down to, it appears 23andMe, as well as that Marley DNA database that I used to discover my dad's paternal haplogroup, they basically came back with the same result. And it's showing that most likely my dad and my brother's paternal haplogroups came from the Ireland area. And the reason why I say that's interesting is because it's showing, even though we have smaller percentages of Irish DNA, that is where it's showing the haplogroup originated from, their paternal haplogroup. My paternal haplogroup as well, even though I don't have Y DNA, obviously I have a father. So I came from a father, so therefore it's my paternal haplogroup as well. That gives a breakdown about my ancestry results when compared to my parents, and it shows the percentages I received from each parent for each region. What do you think about that? Do you think it's pretty accurate? I don't know. At first, when I was looking at those results, I thought it was saying I had higher ancestry percentages from those areas than my parents. And I started thinking about that, right? That's not what these results are saying ultimately. Is actually just showing the percentage I received from each parent. But I started thinking about the possibility of having higher percentages of ancestry from certain regions than my parents. And I started thinking, is that even possible? So I did do some research, right? Let me pull up what I found. First, let me look at what Ancestry says itself. It says, why is my percentage for a region higher or lower than my family tree suggests it should be? And it provides some reasons. I don't want to read all that. Please give me a summary. Yeah, I know about the predicted range. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, you know. All right, so let's go down here. This sounds interesting. It says if a parent is 50% Jewish, 50% German, as an example, a child will not necessarily inherit equal parts of European Jewish and German ethnicity from that parent. The child may inherit slightly more or slightly less of one or the other ethnicity. Okay, that makes sense. I'm aware of that, right? But then I was thinking about a couple of stories. You probably already heard about her, Sandra Lane from South Africa. And she's the woman who looks pretty, what we would say black here in America, but she looks pretty biracial, meaning that it looks like one of her parents is fully black and one of her parents may be fully white. But if you know about the story, you'll know that both of her parents claim to be white. However, and they claim that Sandra is white as well. They claimed that all her life. However, she was harassed and discriminated against while growing up because people from the outside looked at her as black. I'll pop up a picture of Sandra Lane and you can decide for yourself. But it's obvious that she looks like she has African features. But anyway, so long story short, Sandra ended up changing her ethnicity, or at least records of her ethnicity, and she started going by black instead of white because when people looked at her, that was how she appeared. And she ended up marrying a black man, having black children. Her family ended up disowning her. She lost contact with them, and I think last I read, she still was not in communication with her family. Her mother ended up passing away, and I think her father may have as well. Her brothers were still alive, and they still would not associate themselves with her because they continued to claim white, even though from pictures that I've seen, and I'll try to include a picture of her brothers here as well. But pictures that I saw of them, at least one of them really looked biracial as well. So I found this story very interesting because their parents, to me, maybe not to you, but to me, they looked very white, with typical white features or European looking features. And their children, not so much. Their children did not look exactly like their parents. So the question that has been going around is, did they inherit some type of throwback gene that caused them to look more black while their parents appeared to be white? Meaning the theory by some is that probably both of their parents had some type of black African ancestry from several generations ago, and the theory is that at least one of their children inherited those percentages. So based upon what I just read to you, what it's saying is, let's say one of their parents is or was 25% African, they just appeared white, and another one, let's say, had 30%, and instead of just receiving 50% from each parent, meaning the 12.5% from one and then the 15% from the other, which would be what, 27.5? Did I get my math right? Let's say they inherited the full 25%. This isn't likely, but let's just say, just for the sake of it, maybe not the full 25%. Let's say they inherited 20% from their mother, and then of the black African DNA, and then maybe, I don't know, what did I say the father had, 30? I'm just, throwing numbers out there. I don't know what percentages their parents had, if any, and I don't even know what they had, but let's just throw it out there just for kicks. And if they inherited 15, or maybe, no, we have to go up, 25% from their father, because remember, there is a range of DNA that they could inherit from their parents. So maybe they inherited more of the black side of their parents rather than the white side, and they ended up with a higher percentage of black African DNA than their actual parents did. I mean, it doesn't happen too often. You hear about stories like that. They claim there was some type of genetics testing or DNA testing. I don't know. I don't know what DNA testing they did back in the 60s or 70s or maybe 50s. I don't even know what time frame it was that could accurately tell them that, he was their father. Because another theory is, hey, well, the mom had to have had an affair, and that's why those children look biracial. I could almost follow that, except for one thing, and that is, more than just Sandra looks biracial. At least one of the brothers also looks biracial. So, I mean, after having one child, did the mother continue to have an affair and risk her marriage, her life, the safety of her children to go on and have another child by a black man? I don't know. So what are your theories? What do you think? Do you think that maybe one of the parents had an affair? Or do you think really there could have been a throwback gene that caused this situation? What are your thoughts? We have a child with red hair, and my husband and I don't have red hair. So in essence, I guess you could say she received a throwback gene. But here's the thing. My husband and I both carry that trait for red hair. How do we know? Because science tells us that both parents have to carry the trait in order for the child to inherit the DNA. So sometimes children come out looking different than their parents. We don't always look exactly like our parents, right? Let me know what you think. But can they actually receive percentages that are higher than their parents, so much so that they look like a different race? Leave me a comment and let me know. And I will see you again soon and show you more stuff, right? Remember, we're going to be talking about a variety of things. See you soon. Bye.